Hey everyone, it's Strange Michael. I hope you're doing well today. I have a video here to talk about a particular series that I love deeply. This is a movie tied to that. It's actually a TV movie, not like a theatrical release as far as I know. I've seen this one time in my life. It's a movie that I never found myself too attached to, but I used to see trailers for it all the time. And I watched it on YouTube, as a matter of fact. The full movie, back in the day, a long time ago, kids, for you folks who don't know. You used to be able to watch entire films that were illegally posted to YouTube before Google bought YouTube. And I watched this film, I saw 4, I saw one of the other films from this series that's later on, probably the last of the Z timeline, which probably gave it away aside from the title you clicked on. That is Dragon Ball Z, The History of Trunks. Now, I have wanted to get a copy of this for a long time, because I love Dragon Ball Z so much. I grew up on it, especially I think I started around the time the Cell Saga was going on, I believe, on TV, and then I definitely saw every episode of the Majin Buu saga on VHS and the premieres of them on Toonami back in the day. But History of Trunks was one that I only saw trailers for constantly on VHS tapes. Being a hardcore fan, having many of those VHS tapes to this day, I could probably show them to you. But I was a die-hard fan and I loved Trunks. To this day, Trunks is one of my favorite characters. If you were a kid in the 90s, how is Trunks not one of your favorite characters? The dude is awesome. He carries a sword, man. He had the coolest bowl cut that had ever existed. So, Trunks in this movie, by the way, this came out in 1993, a couple of years after Trunks had premiered in Dragon Ball Z. The animation looks really good in this film, but the movie always impressed me because it looked in the trailers, and again, this is the second time ever in my life being a die-hard fan, seeing many of the films over and over and over again. This is only the second time I've seen this movie, and it still does not impress me at all. I wanted to love this because I loved even games that were based on it, like Legacy of Goku 2, which basically the prologue of that film, or that game, excuse me, was this movie, essentially. And it was awesome, if you haven't played that. But I found myself still not impressed with this because the trailers used to look so dark and eerie and atmospheric. The music seemed like it would be like that according to the trailers and stuff. And it's just not that well made, in my opinion. It's got beautiful animation most of the time, but it's everything else. The editing, the rushed pacing. This feels like it was going to be an actual movie released to the theaters and that it got chopped up and chopped down because of the amount of violence, the things that happens in this. It feels like they wanted to censor it down a little bit to not frighten kids too much, which I think is stupid, because Dragon Ball Z always had frightening things in it, whether it be the TV show and the gore within it, people getting their arms ripped off. Remember that happened to Tien? Scared the hell out of me. When it happened to Nail from Frieza, it scared the hell out of me. But this feels like a TV movie that was made out of a theatrical release that was chopped down maybe because of a lack of budget or something. I don't know, but Dragon Ball Z was massive at the time, so I don't see how that would be an excuse, in my personal opinion. Maybe it's a thing relating to the States, making it so popular for us, I don't know. But anyway, what is this movie about? Basically, this is in the future timeline of future Trunks before he came back to the past to help Goku to not die of the heart disease that he was going to get. And essentially, this is when the androids have taken over the world, just 17 and 18. And they have absolutely destroyed everything. They've killed most of the Z fighters. Goku died of the heart virus that he needed medicine for in the past. And this is all of the events, basically a couple of years leading up to when Trunks came back to the past to save Goku and the rest of the Z fighters and warn them about the androids before the Cell Saga really kicked off. So that's kind of cool. We knew most of the story going into this film, and again, me being a diehard, I knew most of it going into this film, but it's been so long since I've seen this 45-minute long movie that I was curious whether it aged better than I remember it when I saw it back in the day on YouTube, because I did not like it when I saw it on YouTube. I didn't know if it was because of the movie, maybe the music, I don't know, because I think this Blu-ray here even comes with the original Japanese music or the American version music from the VHS tape, I assume. I don't think Brad Falconer's group, production company, whatever, did the music for the American release. It just doesn't sound like them that much. It sounds like a wannabe copycat band, so I don't know if they were involved or not. If they were, this was one of the worst soundtracks they've ever put out, in my personal opinion. But that's just me. You don't have some of the other movies like Lord Slug that had like Pantera music, or like the Broly film that had Pantera or Disturbed music or anything like that in those older films that came out before this. You don't have really anything like that. It's just kind of 90s wannabe grunge. It's not even good grunge music. You know, if you have electric guitars, they're pretty cool. There's one song in here that sounds very blues-ish. But anyway, Trunks is in the future, and the only hero that's around right now that's still a Saiyan, aside from Trunks, who's a half Saiyan, I guess, and this person's a half Saiyan too, is Gohan, who is a grown man. He's humongous, dude. He's bigger than Goku, and like the sense of how muscular he is. He is the only superhero left to defend the world, and every once in a while, Gohan will go after the androids, fight them, not really beat them. They wouldn't win, but he wouldn't win either. He would end up running away. I'm just a little confused on how things happened here. But there was a lot of Gohan and Trunks relationship stuff here, and how Trunks looks up to Gohan and wanted him to train him. And it was so good in that respect. I love that about it. I think that, mixed with the emotions and the writing there, even though it's rushed quite a bit, it works really well. Trunks really wants Gohan to show him how to be a Super Saiyan. Trunks has never even met his dad at this point, Vegeta. Vegeta's been dead for a long time. He doesn't know any of these people that Gohan knows and loves, or that his mom Bulma knows and loves. It's weird to Trunks to hear about these superheroes that he never got to meet, and there could have been an element there that was played up so much more than what this movie did. And I understand, 45-minute time limit, there's only so much you can do, but the pacing is so rushed that it kills that kind of downtime that the movie mostly kind of settles into for the majority of the film's run. And that really affects this, in my personal opinion. It really affects this film. Even when you get to the fight scenes and stuff, they're not that good. They're really quick, and then people jump out of the fight. That's constantly what happens in this film. But there are a couple of shocking moments that should have been more shocking, in my opinion. In case you haven't seen the film, I don't want to spoil those moments for you. But there are moments in here that are so surprisingly shocking, involving Gohan especially, that they should have taken more time to show more violence there, to really reveal some horrible things, because again, it was part of Dragon Ball Z history, never affected anybody before this point apparently, but the kind of weird TV movie censorship stuff here really messes with this and makes it feel like it's not really like Dragon Ball Z. It's very odd. By the way, this version of Gohan, I'm on the fence of whether I like his haircut and his personality more than the Gohan we have in the Majin Buu saga that is kind of considered the traditional Gohan now. I don't know which one I like more, but it's weird having the guy who voiced Cell voice this Gohan. It's very neat, in my opinion. But I love the voice actor they picked for Gohan for the Majin Buu saga as an adult. That guy's voice is just so heroic. Kind of like Sean Schimmel's voice as Goku. It's just one of those iconic voices that really fit. And the guy who usually plays Trunks plays him in this film too. I don't know his name, I'm sorry. But he's really good as always. He has to play kind of a younger version, which sounds like shit. And when the Trunks grows up over the next couple of years in this movie, he sounds like his usual Trunks self, and I really enjoyed that. I don't really have much more to say. I just wish there was more to this in almost every aspect. Yeah, it has moments with really good atmosphere. I wish I had more of that. Yeah, it has moments with really good blues-ish soundtracks, but I wish I had more of that. I wish it had something to complement the wonderful-looking animation most of the time throughout this movie. But it just doesn't. If this had been extended to about an hour to the T, I think it really would have done a lot better. I think overall the execution of it could have been a lot better. But it's a missed opportunity. It's not a bad movie. I don't want anybody to think that. If you're a diehard Trunks fan, you're going to get something out of this, I promise you. If you're not a Trunks fan, you're not going to like this shit because it's named after him. But at the end of the day, I enjoy it. I had a good time with it. But honestly, I think there's a lot of movies I love way, way, way more than this. Probably 6 or 7 or 8 movies that I think are better than this movie, if I'm being honest with you. Like, if I had to rank them out, there'd be like 8 movies above this. And that would include things like Lord Slug. I think Lord Slug is way better than this. Bardock, the father of Goku, is way better than this, in my opinion. But anyway, when it comes to Dragon Ball Z, History of Trunks from 1993, what do you guys think about it? I'd love to hear your thoughts and comments about this movie down in the comments section down below. If I had to rate it on a 5-star basis, I'd give this a very mediocre 3 out of 5 stars. It's an above average story, an above average concept, but the execution of it is very, very average. It feels like a cash grab sometimes, and that's kind of a bummer because of how much I looked forward to rewatching this at some point. And, oh well. But I wish it were better. It's not a bad movie, I just wish it were better. It's a very lackluster everything. So, what do you think? Put your thoughts and comments down below. Thank you all for watching, guys. God bless you all, and have a happy Thanksgiving next week. Goodbye.